I was going to say about, kind of maintaining credibility in regards to his connection and loyalty to Michigan first would be that I think it's all going to depend on how much he can sell this line that he seems to be emphasizing that, yeah, I tested the waters, and it's funny the way he spins it is that kind of he turned down the NFL. I just listened,
Yeah.
turned
Oh
down the NFL,
my
and
God.
and so now I'm back in Michigan, and I've promised Ward Manuel that you're not going to have to worry about this for the duration of my contract, as I understand it. That's basically how he stated it the other day at this news conference to lead off spring practice. So if he can convince everyone, and I think he's trying to pound that line into everybody's heads that I've signed this new contract, there's an extension, this is the reason why we did this extension, that I am tied to this extension and I'm not jumping ship until then. And it's going to be all up to his ability to sell that, convince people, and get them to trust him.
I think that's what he's attempting to do, Mark. But I don't think that's the right approach. I mean, I think at the end of the day, I believe being transparent with what happened, where you are, and what will resonate more than with trying to spin things. Because I think at this point in time, with his track record throughout his coaching career, with the way he handled this past off season, just kind of putting everything on the table and saying, and he probably did look at legitimate interest. It's always going to be in the back of my mind. But as of now, I'm just committed to making the best of my time here at Michigan. And I think that people can respect that because look, around it, besides Nick Saban and Dabo Sweeney, I don't think there's any head coach in any Power Five program that you can ever dismiss as potentially being going to the NFL one day. Like Lincoln Riley, can coach at USC for 2 years. Let's say he wins a natty at USC, once within the next 3 years, he'll be a great NFL candidate, right? I think anybody who's paying attention to the landscape of the game, you realize that. So I don't think you have to run away from that. We all know it's a business. Players nowadays know it's a business, and you can see in the transfer portal they're starting to approach it like that, right? So I don't think you have to try to, you know, create some narrative. Just be honest, do the best you can. And I think people will respect that at the end of the day. I do.
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh also, and I can't remember. I thought I saw something on Twitter about him saying something in the realm of haters or something to that effect about what people's perception of the Michigan team, and they, some will always root against us, and maybe I'm making that up and I saw something, but it's interesting. Dre, how would you rate Jim Harbaugh's self-awareness?
Oh, really, really low. Like a three, like a 3 out of 10. It's just because I don't. Any guy, I think honestly, man, I think he's in his own world. He's in his Jimmy world. Like he just is. I mean, he's a different kind of guy. He just is. Now I don't think he has a huge sense of self-awareness. No way in the world. Nope. Mm-mm. I mean, look. I mean, he looks. No, I'm not going to do this. Now you're gonna make me sound like I'm attacking the guy, and I'm not. Gonna
I just and the reason I ask that is because, to me, I don't think that for the people who don't like Michigan, I don't think it's because of Aiden Hutchinson or Devin Bush or Rashawn Gary or any of those guys. I think it's the things with the climbing trees with recruits, and you had to sleep over on somebody's floor, and the drinking milk till as much milk as your little belly can hold, and nervous bird. I think it's those things that people look at as to why they don't like Michigan, right? Ohio State fans and Michigan State fans, let's separate them because that's a rivalry. But the reason I asked the self-awareness question is because I don't think he understands a lot of this stuff is because of you. Like the things that you've done. Like I don't see, Mel Tucker doing those types of things. I don't see Ryan Day doing those types of things. I don't see, James Franklin for all of his flaws and shortcomings for Penn State. I don't see him doing those things, and that type of attention overall doesn't come to them. I mean, there was a debate I saw. I think someone had ranked the college football coaches, and they had like James Franklin maybe number 5 or something like that. And I saw on Twitter Steve Dace had basically responded saying that there's no way Franklin should be that high. Regardless of how you feel about it, essentially those James Franklin and Jim Harbaugh have essentially the same resume, but somehow James Franklin has the perception that he's a better coach. And Vanderbilt, and there's reasons why, but Jim Harbaugh would have just as much of a resume to say that he should be higher as well. But I think he misses some of those things because of the things that he does as far as the actions and the comments and things like that.
See, I think I don't think the hate against Michigan has to do with Harbaugh as much as it's Michigan attempts to portray a high morality compass, right? Leaders and best on the field, best in the classroom, best as citizens, right? And I think, for one, that rubs some people the wrong way, because even though it's an outstanding university, Michigan academically portrays himself in a way as an Ivy League school, with also having top Power 5 results in sport athletics, and it's rare where a university has both. Right, so I think that rubs people the wrong way. I think the people that hate Michigan also hate the same reason they may hate Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame has a similar type of feeling and presentation as a university. So I think Jimmy's eccentric, him being eccentric, just kind of puts the icing on it because he's a Michigan man. He's literally perfect. So I think it's all kind of icing on the cake.
Mark?
Well, some of the things that you cite, so I've made fun of them too. But on the other hand, I'm thinking about these things and I'm thinking, okay, is any harm being done? Is there anything ethically wrong with any of these things, morally wrong with these things? Absolutely not. Any of them. They're all just quirky, odd, strange things. That's like when he was on the run of taking his team overseas, 2 or 3 straight off seasons.
Oh yeah.
Some people view that as a great thing. They get a different experience. They get to interact with different cultures, and that's a great experience for them. Other people, if you viewed it as, well, they just lost their bowl game or they didn't have the season we expected them to have, well, this is a bad thing because they should be focused on football. You shouldn't be focused on going to Italy. You should be focused on football. So it's all depends on your slice, and if he's your slice of the pie and your perspective, and whether he's your guy or he's not your guy. He's one of those polarizing guys, and so if he's your guy, then you're going to love those things, and if he's not your guy, then you're going to find a way to tear it down.
But you know what I found, Mark, is that people, and look, you don't by no means you have to attend the university to rep that university and that to be your favorite school, but I found that this from listening to other medium forums, radio, podcast, TV, that Michigan alumni don't mind at all, or not are as affected by the Michigan propaganda as much as a person who was a fan of University of Michigan but didn't go there. Because when you go there, some people call it brainwashing in local medias here in Detroit, but it's when you are a student there and you're immersed in that culture, you are in a culture that tells you that you are a leader and best. You're better than everyone. Not to say it's entitlement, but it's all around you. That's all you know. Than your time at Michigan.
Well, and it's a difficult school to get into.
It is. It's an outstanding school. But I'm just saying that. So once you go into the world, you don't mind these propaganda, like though that view on your university because you view your university like that. But someone like myself and other fans who didn't go to the University of Michigan, but as a fan of the University of Michigan, we couldn't give a crap about being leaders and best and all the other stuff. We would care about the results because that's what we rep it for. We rep for the athletics, not the what the moral compass of the university is, right? So it's different. And I think that's also a difference as well and how people view it.
And that's why you see on social media prior to the last Saturday of this past November when things changed, you saw that Michigan contingent, and it was probably coming from students or alumni that, sure, they want to win, and if you're winning in that rivalry, then you obviously just capitalize on that and say we're winning, we're the best, we beat you. But if not, that there was a lot of criticism, or it appeared as though a lot of Michigan people, again, most likely coming from a connection to the university as a student or alumni, were basically saying, yeah, we did lose, but kind of like we have more important things going on. Like, we're more well-rounded.
We're saving lives.
Yes, we're saving lives. We're educating people. We're doing these things.
Right.
Like, you guys are paranoid with football.
Yeah. that's it. It's just like, hey, can't we do both? But let's keep it separate, guys. You can be proud of the university. No one is saying not to. It is an outstanding university. But yeah, we just got beat by 35, and we should all be ticked about that against Ohio State, okay? At that time. So it's like, let's put that aside. I know you want to wear your big blue, your big block M on your chest. That is fine. But just realize on the field, it got dragged up and down it. So anyway,